Now that we created a Firebase project, now it's time to add a Flutter project to this Firebase project. And I have created a Firebase project, and it is named as shop a_z, and it was the counter app template, and I removed the unnecessary stuffs. So only the run app and my app exists, and from material app I have simply returned a placeholder widget as, or set a placeholder widget as a home for material app. Okay, now let's go to the Firebase, our project console over here. And we have several options to add multiple apps for Firebase projects. If you are developing a native Android or native iOS or even web or Unity apps, then you have these options. But since we are developing a Flutter project, so this is our option. So I have to click this one, and here first of all I need to prepare my workspace. First of all, I need to install the Firebase CLI, that means the Firebase command line interface. And then I have to log in by using Firebase login to log in the Firebase, and also I need to install the Flutter SDK, which I already installed. And okay, let's go to Firebase CLI and open this link to a new tab. I'm pressing Windows since I'm sitting on a Windows machine. And now I have to install Firebase CLI, and I have two options for that. And that is, I can download the standalone library, or I can use npm. So in this case, I will use npm, and to use npm, that means the Node Package Manager, I have to install Node.js. And I have already installed Node.js on my machine. And if you didn't install Node.js, please go to the Node.js official website. So simply type Node.js and go to Node.js official website and install this long time support version. First of all, click this and an exe file will be downloaded, and simply click that exe file and the installation process will be started. And just click yes and next, and stay with the default options selected during the installation process, and then you will find that the Node.js will be installed on your machine. And after you install Node.js, then go to search and just type Windows PowerShell. And when you have Windows PowerShell, just right button and then run as administrator. Click yes and simply type the Node version just to check the Node version. So Node version, and I have the latest Node version 18.17.1. Now let's go to this documentation. And now I have to install or run this command npm install g firebase tools. Just copy that and simply paste it over here and hit run, and it will install the Firebase tools. And I have already installed that. It is reinstalling everything, so no problem. Let's give it some time to reinstall once again. After the Firebase tools has been installed, now it's time to log in to Firebase by using this Firebase login command. So let's go to the console once again and just type Firebase and login. And if you see something like that, that says that the Firebase PS1 cannot be loaded because running script is disabled. It is just like some permission related issue on Windows, and the easiest solution is just to remove or delete that file. So let's go to this path location, that means C program files, find the Node.js folder and find this file over here. So let's go to C program files, Node.js, and there are several Firebase files. I think the second one, and let's right click it and get properties, and this is the, I think it is not, maybe this one. Okay, the third one over here. Let's go to the property of the file, and it says this ps1 file. Okay, so now I am deleting this one. Make sure you are deleting the right file. So shift delete and yes. Okay, and now let me run this Firebase login command once again. It will take some time and it will open a browser where we will authenticate to Firebase or log into Firebase using our Gmail account. So let's wait for that. Just type Y and hit enter. And you see a new window is opened and it says choose an account. So I'm choosing this account and I am logged in with this account on my browser. So I'm clicking this and I used that account to open a new Firebase project earlier. So allow, and it says Firebase CLI login successful. Let's go to the console and it says logged in as tanvir.ahmed.bani. That means this is my Gmail account. So I am now successfully logged in my account. So let's go to the next step. After we successfully logged in, then we can actually see the project list. I just if I just copy this and paste it to console, we'll see the projects as a list that are included in our Firebase A to Z project, or for the projects that we have created using that Google account, we'll be able to see that. But I'm not going to do that. Instead, I will go to I'm just clicking the next button over here because I have already logged in over here. I don't want to see the project list. I just want to go to the next page, and now I need to run this command. So I need to enable Dirt globally, or I need to enable the Flutterfire CLI globally. So just copy this and paste it over here and hit enter. It will take some time also. It says installed executable Flutterfire, and also it is showing something like pub installs executables into this one, which is not on your path. We can fix that by adding the directory systems path environment variable. So we can actually copy this path and add this path as the systems path environment variables. So let me just copy this path over here. Just copy this and let me open the environment variables. So this one and environment variables, and it says we need to add that. We need to add that systems path environment variable. So we have two variable list over here. One is user variables and another one is system variables. So inside the system variables, and I need to select this path over here and then edit and then hit new and just paste it and OK and OK. Okay. So now I have to execute this command from the root of my project directory. So let me copy this, and now I have to go to the root of my project directory, and I can do that by going to the location where I actually saved or created this project. And also I can do that by going to my Flutter project over here. So this is my Flutter project, and if I go to terminal over here, and you see that this actually opens a terminal at the root of my Flutter project shop AZ. And now I can actually run that command at the root of this Flutter project. So let me copy this one and simply paste it over here and hit enter. If it is not working, like it says that the term Flutterfire is not recognized as the name of the commandlet or script or something like that, okay, let's minimize this and let's go to, or let's open a PowerShell window at this project root and run as an administrator. So let's go to our C drive and user, and you have to go to the folder or inside the folder of username, and then we have this studio projects, and here shop A to Z, and I'm right clicking over this folder by holding the shift key, and you see over here, and it is trying to fetching the available Firebase projects, and it says which platforms should your configuration support, and it is already selecting Android. Just hit enter. It is trying to configure the support for Android and iOS as it says, and it is registering the Firebase iOS app on Firebase project, this one. And it says Firebase configuration file leave Firebase _options.dart generated successfully with the following Firebase apps. And now if we go to our Flutter project over here, and if we go inside the lib folder, you will see that a file is automatically generated. So basically we are done with adding our Flutter project to Firebase project, and we can actually go to the next step, and then we have to add few lines of code inside our main.dart file. So let's go our main.dart file, and first of all we need to import the Firebase options.dart file. So we need to import this file to main.dart. So first of all, import Firebase options.dart, and then simply copy these lines of codes which actually initializes the Firebase. So copy this and simply paste it inside the main function before the run app. And just remove these import options. And since this is a future function, or it actually using the await keyword, and for that we need to make our main function asynchronous. And whenever we try to initialize something before running the app or before creating any widget for our app, we need to call a method. We need to call a method to tell our Flutter framework to safely initialize things before running the application, and that is widgets flutter binding dot ensure initialized. Let's go to the official documentation, and we are done with all the things. Let's go to the console, and if we go to the console and simply restart or refresh the page one more time, and now you'll see in our shop A to Z Firebase project we have two apps. So we have our Flutter's Android version, shop A to Z, and also we have the iOS version as well. One more thing, you will see some errors over here because it is not finding the proper imported file or import file. That means it says that undefined name Firebase. So it is not actually recognizing Firebase. To do that, we need to add few plugins to our Flutter project. And to do that, let's go to the pubspec.yml file, and let's find our dependencies tab. And under this dependencies tab, let's add few plugins. First of all, let me add Firebase core plugins. And this is the core plugins that must be installed, because if you don't install it, then none of the services like Firebase authentication, Firebase database, nothing will work. And that error actually is coming from because it is actually looking for this package. So let me add Firebase core, and also let me add the necessary libraries that we will need to during developing for this project. So we will use the Firebase authentication library. So Firebase _auth, let me add that. Also let me add Cloud Firestore. So this is the NoSQL database of Firebase that we will use in this project. Also we'll use the Firebase storage to store or upload files or images or audio or any kind of file, we'll use Firebase storage. We'll also do that. Then we'll also add Firebase messaging, because we will apply push notifications from user app to admin app. For that, we need to install these Firebase messaging plugins, and also we need to add cloud functions. So these are the Firebase services we will use in this project. And besides these dependencies, let me add the common libraries or dependencies that we always use in any Flutter project. For state management, we'll use provider. For date formation, we will use internalization or Intel. We'll use another plugins to load image efficiently, especially when we try to load images from network, and the plugin is cached network image. Let me add that. Also, let me add another plugins that will check the availability of internet connection, and that is Connectivity Plus. So these are the dependencies that we will need during developing this project. And if we need some of the libraries, then I will add them as necessary. So let me click pubget. So now all the libraries has been downloaded and included in our project. And we can actually close this pubspec.yml, and you see now we have to import the Firebase core library just by pressing Alt Enter and then import library Firebase core, and you will see the error is gone. So one more thing to do, we need to go to the Android folder over here, and we need to go to the app folder, and then we need to open this build.gradle file, and we need to change the minimum SDK version, whatever version it is. Maybe it is by default 16 or 19, but we need to upgrade it to at least 21. So let me put 21 over here, and you need to do that. If you don't do that, then at the first time when you try to run this app, it will fail to run, and you will see the corresponding messages on the run console, which will indicate you to upgrade the minimum SDK version for Android. So now that we are done with all the necessary stuff, let me rerun the application from scratch. So now you see the app is up and running. That means we are done and there is no issues regarding the installations or the connection establishment between Flutter and Firebase. And by running this method, we actually ensured that Firebase should be initialized before we use any services like authentication or database or storage. Before we use anything of the services, we need to ensure, or we need to initialize Flutter at the first place. That's why it is put in the main function before running the app, and it will automatically detect our current platform, because I'm now running this project on an Android module or Android device. So the current platform will be Android, and the way that we added the Flutter project to Firebase one, by using this option, it will automatically add the necessary files to the corresponding Android and iOS folders. You see that inside this app folder, inside the Android folder, we have a google-services.json file, and this has just been downloaded when we actually added this Flutter project to Firebase. And this is a JSON file where we have the information about the Firebase project, the project number, the ID, and etc. And now this project has only one client. Inside this client list, we have only one client. That means only one app, and that is com.example shop A to Z. Okay, so now we are ready and good to go and do the necessary stuffs, and we'll do that in the next lecture. Now we need to add few screens and we need to create few files accordingly, because in this project we have to authorize our admin with username or password or email or password. So first of all, we will use the Firebase authentication service, and we will let our admin to authenticate using the dedicated admin email address and password, and then admin will be logged into the app, and then admin will be able to add products and manage the products necessarily. So see you in the next lecture.